Hi everyone, welcome to Discover the Landmine. This is another video as part of the Discover the series. Another one of these exercises and videos are part of really introducing and showing you how you can use a different type of apparatus to build strength in not just a static position, but in rotation, in coiling, in having this ability to have strength on one side of your body and then transfer it to the other side of the body. And the Landmine's really a great and safe tool to be able to produce that power and develop more and more expertise. We're gonna get familiarized with the Landmine. Different variations of setup, we'll go through that in the next part of the video, but once your Landmine's set up, thumb and finger grip towards you, go down, bend over, pick up the Landmine, and then kind of just get used to maneuvering, changing hands. The technique that we're going to go through in a little bit more detail is elbow to hip on the front leg. So what's also quite nice is just picking the Landmine up, stepping, bringing the elbow to the hip, maybe going overhead, stepping and changing. Opposite leg will come forwards, elbow goes to hip on the other side. We come down, bring the elbow towards your hip. Take it down, maybe change sides. So as I come forwards, with one hand, I bring my elbow to my hip, I drop down, grab hold of the end of the Landmine or end of the barbell. I take it towards the hip, I take it overhead. I might take it down on one side, I might take it down on the other side. I might switch my legs a couple of times, and I'm just getting comfortable with all the multiple directions and variations and changes that could happen with the Landmine. We've already gone over how to use or orientate our way around the Landmine, but to break it down again, we want to make sure our finger and our thumb is facing towards the body. We want to be comfortable with a weight, whether that's the bar, an empty bar, or a weight on the bar, but I should at all times be able to maneuver this with no stress in my body. Especially when we're learning these techniques. If you put a weight on this that you're already struggling to just maneuver with no technique, definitely go down, because there is an element of skill in here, and if we fuck the skill up at the beginning, at least if the bar's light, you're at less risk of getting hurt or any danger. When we pick the bar up, the rule that I'm going to teach you today is elbow to hip on the front leg. This isn't a rule for everything, but it's the rule I teach for beginners to at least help with coordination. And it gives us a little bit more of an easier way to go overhead as well. When my elbow's on my hip, it allows me to flex my spine a little easier and to be balanced on that same side. Whereas if my elbow's on my unsupported back leg, even if it has support, I'm more likely going to be in the back here. So elbow to hip on the front leg is going to be our teaching principle for today. First thing I'm going to show you to do is let's start with the switch today. You're going to pick the Landmine up, you're going to place it onto the hip of the front leg. So step onto whatever side. I'm currently right hand, right hip, right leg forwards. And what I'm going to ask you to do is step your left leg forwards, bring your hand to the top of the bar, bring your elbow to the hip on the other side. And then you're gonna step to the other leg forwards, bring the other leg, and bring the hip to the elbow to hip on the other leg. So you're gonna step and switch, step and switch, step and switch, step and switch. Once you got comfortable with that a few times, you might look at jumping and switching. Jumping as fast as you can, moving the elbow at the same time. You might add some rhythm or timing. And as I'm moving through, I'm jumping and changing, bringing my elbow to my hip. As I bring my elbow to my hip, you'll notice that my body weight will weight transfer to that side. As I jump and change, my body weight will transfer to that side. I'm going to encourage that. I'm looking to exaggerate this coil, exaggerate this side bend, and exaggerate this long side. As I exaggerate the long side, My elbow will go to my hip on my short side. My elbow will go away from my hip on my long side. And I like to cover my ear with my shoulder. So my movement pattern is switch, 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 switch. Show you again. Elbow to hip on the front leg. I grab the bar, I bring it up onto the hip. I grab the top and I switch, 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 switch. I want to think about the free elbow, punching or elbowing forwards or weaponizing the elbow, covering the ear, switch, switch, switch. Next thing I'm going to show you is the overhead press or the overhead switch. So the same thing, we're going to go down elbow to hip on the front leg. We'll take the bar, we'll bring it onto the hip where we started with the switch. From this position, I want to go overhead. When I go overhead, before I go overhead, I have my elbow to my hip on my front leg here. When I go overhead, I want to bring my elbow to my hip on my other side. So that means I have to bring the other leg forwards, bring the elbow to my hip. So the movement will look like this. Left leg forwards, barbell in my left hand or landmine in my left hand. As I go overhead, I want to change legs and bring the elbow to my hip on my other side. So it will be down, up, down, up. Add rhythm, timing, pace, coordination, but make sure you land each position and you're comfortable. Don't go overhead and lose your technique, lose your placement. We want to make sure before we start to go fast that we're owning each position and we've held it there for a little while. So ear covered by your shoulder, elbow to hip on the front leg, extended through my punching arm, and then catch. Weaponizing the elbow, ear covered by the shoulder. Way. Right. Do 10, 20 reps one side. Same. On the other side. That's our overhead. So we've done our switch. We've done our overhead. The last thing to show you is our high pull to switch, or our hang to clean. So this will be, depending on the mobility or the access of your hips and pelvis, if you can be in a very narrow, I'll show you on this line here, one leg more forwards than the other versus an extra wide lunge or stance. But if that's the only excess you've got in your hips, then that's okay. More hip mobility would be good. So I'm gonna have my legs in this split stance, but I'm gonna try to limit the range that I have here. So it will feel more like a bit of a deadlift, a bent over deadlift split squat. My elbow goes to my hip on my front leg. I drop down into my legs, and I wanna feel like I'm in my legs versus in my back. I wanna feel like I'm in my legs versus in my back. So I'll drop down, my heel can come up. I'll grab hold of the bar. And when I grab hold of it, I want to feel like I have this forward intent, this forward drive, this forward lean here. From that initiation of the pickup, this is our hang. Elbows on my hip, not resting on my leg. I'm in my hang position, and I want to jump with a high pull. I want to think about high pulling, high pulling, high pulling. As I high pull, change legs, bring my elbow to my hip. As I high pull, change legs, bring my elbow to my hip, catch the bar at the top. Jump and punch it down. Up to the hip, down to the ground. Our hang, clean, hang, clean, hang, clean. Then we change sides. Elbow to hip on my front leg. I jump, catch, 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 hang, clean, hang, clean, hang, clean. Once you've done a few reps, take a break. And then the workout I'm going to leave you today with is the hang, clean, and press. Again, this is the first exercise I'll teach to all of my athletes. Really accessible, really easy to kind of start with. Sometimes the rhythm or the coordination's a little harder to pick up, but it's still an easy technique to be in. Elbow to hip, front leg. Hang position. From my hang, I jump, change legs, catch on my front leg. Catch with my top arm, weaponize my elbow, cover my ear, look ahead, eyes on target. I'm in my clean position, or we did this earlier as the switch position. But from here, I'm gonna jump, go overhead, ear covers the shoulder, elbow goes to hip, pushing, protecting, my eyes are still on my target. I'm gonna then, from my overhead, jump back to my clean position, jump back to my hang position. And it will look like this fast. 3 or 5 reps on one side is good. Same on the other side. Get loaded through the legs. Make sure the legs are doing the work for you, elbow to hip. Clean, press, clean, hang. Clean, press, clean, hang. Clean, press, clean, hang. And then you have loads of variations and programming from that. I like to warm up with the switch, maybe 30 reps, 50 reps. I'll take that into an overhead. One side, maybe 20, 30 reps on one side, 20, 30 reps on the other side. I'll then go into the hang to swing position, hang to switch position, sorry, hang to clean position or switch. For again, 20 to 30 reps each side. Empty bar, lightweight. And then after that, I will then repeat 3 to 5 reps per set. But every time I go back to my set, I'm gonna put 5 or 2.5 kilos on. I'm gonna get heavier and heavier and heavier to the point where that bar slows down or almost stops. And that'll be the numbers I write down. I'll work out how many sets I've done to build up to that. And weekly, I'm looking to push those numbers. Weekly, I wanna see improvement. If I'm doing this daily, I will expect to see changes at the end of a week or the following week, should I say. If I'm realizing that the numbers aren't changing and I'm getting more tired, I might be overtraining with the weights, overtraining in general, or there could be a number of things that could be wrong why you're not improving there. But if you stick to doing this every day, work on your technique, make sure you feel safe, don't push your high reps straight away, at least heavy weights, high reps. You should feel that you're having improvement for the first 4 to 6 weeks quite easily there. Thank you. That was Discover the Landmine. Landmine's a great piece of equipment. If you haven't already, you should have watched my Discover the Mace, Discover my rope, Discover the rope, Discover the kettlebell. You'll see that a lot of these teaching principles are the same. So the same way that you would have cleaned and pressed with a kettlebell is, obviously it's a very different way of doing a clean and press with a landmine, but you've got some crossover with these exercises. If you like the landmine, I have Discover the Landmine. Sorry, I have Control the Landmine. You've just done Discover. So I have Control the Landmine coming on my school account. Please look out for that. That will be a few extra exercises. It'll obviously be a revision of what you learned today. But take your time, rewatch this video, feel safe, feel confident. Add this into your workout daily if you can, or at least within your strength training program on a weekly basis. And I'd love to hear how you get on. Thank you.